All right, we live. Let's give them a few minutes to get in here, guys. We got a show for them tonight, man.
Oh, yeah.
You done it again, Coach Cole. You done it again.
Hey, man, let me say this. I watched this one from the ground up. You know,
yeah.
Coach. So
hey, Coach, before you start lying, let them get in here, Coach. Don't start lying before they get in. Before we get in here. We're going to give them about another 30 seconds.
Rocky, you haven't started the off-screen stream yet.
It's not on there yet? It should be. It should. Give it a minute.
No,
You're just probably running behind.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've tuned into the HBCU Coaches Corner. I'm your co-host, Rocky Miller, along with the Rattler, the Bishop, Mr. Stephen Campbell. And we have your featured host on today, on time. He's not running late today. None other than the SWAC legend himself, the SIAC Coach of the Year, the SWAC Coach of the Year, none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny Cole.
What's up, guys?
All right, Coach Cole, this is a big one, Coach. This is a big one. Yeah. We've been waiting on this.
Yeah. I like your HBCU background there, Coach Bishop.
Man, sometimes you got to remind these folks, man. Sometimes they say it's DEI, Coach. They say it's DEI that did that in the back. That's what they saying.
Well, this what we bringing up on in a few, man. You know, this is special for him to be a part of the DEI. He would be great, you know, because of the things he's accomplished, and he just now getting started. But appreciate it, Rocky, the introductory. Of course, you two guys, man, mean a lot to me in holding the showdown and you know, making sure we doing the right thing and saying the right thing and make sure y'all keeping me straight. But the young man, and I'll call him a young man because I'm gonna take the claim that I was his mentor and he was my mentee, and I seen him grow as a coach and start out at junior college and had opportunity to hire him on my staff. And the guy was like a sponge. I knew he was going to be successful. I think he's going to continue to be successful. He's a first, guys, and this says a lot about him. He's the first to go from a PWI and take a head job at a HBCU school. That's how much he thinks about himself. That's how much he thinks about the HBCU game. That he actually gave up a job. He called me several weeks before his championship game, and everybody know that he played in the national championship game. And he said, "Coach, man, I just ain't feeling it. I just want to be where I can coach, you know." And that's what you call a coach, meaning he don't coach mascots. He coach young men and help develop, and he win championships. He came on my staff as a first-year coach. Eventually moved up fast. I mean, hey, look, if I turned around, Coach, he followed me all around. If I turned around, I might have kissed him. But, you know,
Coach Cole,
he became more than just an assistant coach to me. He really became my little brother because that's how I was taught the game from my oldest brother, LC. But, man, I can't say enough about him. Prairie View A&M. You look forward to support this guy. He's going to come in. He's going to get it done. It's up to you guys to get it done. He's definitely going to get it done on the football field with no longer ado. I bring up my friend, my mentee, special guy. Man, I'm excited. I get chills bumps even when I talk to people about this guy, Tremaine Jackson, head football coach. The Prairie View A&M.
I appreciate that, Coach, man. I feel like I got drafted, man. Coach got the full rundown, man. How y'all doing?
We doing good, Coach. We doing good. Coach, we had a great conversation in the green room, so to speak. A lot of interesting stories. Some you may want to share with us, and some I know you can't. So I always appreciate you. Give me one thing before we get into it, Coach. Something I want to, because I said that you were putting your career at risk being a championship level coach at the Division II level and coming to a perennial loser. So let me just say this. Valdosta is nationally recognized for winning. Not only in this decade, not only under you, but under previous administrations and coaches. You come to Prairie View that's nationally known for losing, right? And I say, Coach, with that coming from that pedigree to here, it's a big risk. You're not only risking losing, but you risking your reputation as a coach. Not many coaches leave Prairie View and go on to bigger jobs or whatever. And you were on a track as a Division II coach to do some things that probably no other coach has done. Why Prairie View, Coach? Why now?
Yeah, man, you know, like I told you before, I get that question a lot. And when it was rumored that I might be the guy to take the job, I was getting text messages that said, no, don't do it. What are you thinking? And here's what I'll tell you, man. It's very simple for me. Prairie View A&M gave Tremaine Jackson the opportunity to be a Division I football coach. Period. Everybody else in the country had an opportunity. We had won 25 games in 2 years. We were 25-3. In 2 years, we had won the toughest league in Division II, not once, but twice. And we were playing for the national championship, which at a place like Valdosta State is kind of the norm when you have, in the last 7 years, you had three different coaches play for the national championship, us being the latest. But, man, my phone wasn't ringing off the hook with PWIs. That wasn't the case for whatever reason. And we all can assume or think about the reasons because we see people in our profession that have done less than that elevate up, right? And so when Prairie View A&M called, the guy asked me one question. Hey, Tremaine, you played at the other place. I'm sorry, Coach Cole. I gotta call that the other place now.
I know.
You played at the other place. Do you have any issue with talking to Prairie View A&M? I said, issue? I want to talk to Prairie View A&M. And so, man, they gave me an opportunity. But when I interviewed and when I sat down and talked with our AD and with our president, man, it was easy because I wasn't looking for the logo. I was looking for alignment. I had been at places where the vision for the football program and the vision we had for raising men and women, because I had a young lady on my football team, it didn't align with what the university wanted to do. And that was okay. And so you know what they say, right? It's like we tell players now, if you don't agree, somebody got to leave. And so I had a better opportunity. And like I told you before, Rob, Prairie View A&M is 10 times the job that Valdosta State is.
I didn't think you were going to say that.
But nobody would know that because nobody's been in the nuts and bolts of both of them. We're fully funded at Prairie View A&M. We weren't fully funded at Valdosta State. And that's not a knock. That's just what it really is. We were expected to do a lot with a little, and we did it. We exceeded the expectations. And now we have an opportunity to be on a level playing field back in my hometown, man, and we're excited about it.
Yeah. Coach, I want to make sure, because we got a lot of Prairie View fans watching, and I could share the conversation me and you had when you first started thinking about, Coach, man, I know what people are going to say. And one thing I asked you, I said, out of all the SWAC teams, if all the jobs is open, which one would you take? And you said Prairie View A&M, and of course you said for several reasons. The school, of course, where it's at. Of course, you back close to home. Coach, I even had one of your old teachers, Miss Wanda Bookman called, taught you in school, man. And it's just a great connection. And I don't think people know it yet. how, and I don't know if you know it, I had a call from John Boy, one of the former trainers, you know, and you know, I'm getting calls from all like, man, he played Little League football for me and I coached him. And I just think it's a match made in heaven. And the first time when they called me and asked me what I thought about you being the head coach, I told them, Prairie View just hit a home run out of the ballpark. Sure. So I just want people to know that you just didn't pick Prairie View because they were one of the ones pulling you for the head job. You picked it because that's where you want to be at.
Yeah, I want to be here.
Yeah. Well, Coach, man, you the head ball coach. You're coming into the SWAC. You know the SWAC in and out. So I'm gonna ask you a question outside of all that. Why you think that HBCU schools can't consistently beat PWIs?
Yeah, you know, coming from that other side, we watch a lot of HBCU games, and I actually had the opportunity to play Miles College in the playoffs, play Virginia Union in the playoffs, two really good, well-coached, competitive teams that we had to strap up at Valdosta State and to beat. And so when you look at it, the one thing that's noticeably different across the country between the HBCUs and PWIs is the line play. It's the recruiting in the line play. And that's why we struggle to win, because we don't recruit the same type of linemen. The skill is undoubtedly the same, comparable, or better in most cases in the SWAC, in the MEAC, SIAC, CIAA. But when things get tough in that game and somebody want to grind it out, it's in the line play. Now, that's on the field. Off the field, things are just done differently. We took 3 buses. Might have been a fight. Might have been a fight to get 3 buses at the place I was at. But I remember the fights you went through trying to get us to take 3 buses. That, you know, we didn't get them sometimes. You know, it just was what it was. The way, the experience and the level of care for the experience is different on that side of the tracks at times than it is on our side. Right? And so I think people need to recognize that, you know, on that side, man, it's big business. Winning matters. Winning football games. I was standing next to the president at Ferris State, and we were doing a little pre-game press conference deal, and they asked him why Ferris State why do they put all of their resources into their football team? And he said something different, and he's a black gentleman. He said, man, if we don't put these into football, these resources that we have, then nobody, and we don't win in football, nobody sees our programs. Nobody sees our top biology program in the Midwest. People see our programs because we decided 5 years ago to take all our resources, put them in football, and try to win this game. And that's why they've won 3 of the last 5.
Well,
and so it's a different mentality.
Yeah.
It's a different mentality, and I think we just got to do a better job of recognizing those two things.
Yeah, I think Rocky, this is where you step in, and me and you, when we first met, you know, we were knocking heads a little bit because I was caught up in my feelings, and Rocky was always saying that he didn't feel that HBCUs made football important. And you know, as we get to talking to you and we've talked to other coaches, you know, it's kind of true. You know, we don't look at it that way. You know, we look at it as it's over there and the school is over here. And I'm glad that you was able to talk about that. Well, you know, I think you had your first 30 days. Kind of bring us up, you know, on the staff and whatever you could share with us, you know, because let me tell you something. Everybody don't call about you coming on tonight. So I hope you don't got some sleep and all that good stuff, because we're going to hold you tonight.
Yeah, no, we good. We good. You know, we talked about that previous question, what's different? Prairie View A&M falls on the side that I just came from. And here's what I mean. Football is important at Prairie View A&M. AD Golf is a football player. He played at Bowling Green. AD Golf watches us work out in the morning because he in the weight room working out. he comes in my office and talks about the future of our football program. Now, I don't know if I hope he does that with every other sport, but I'm there to coach the football team. And so I've been at places in PWIs where I don't see the AD for weeks. And that's just not been the case. This first 30 days, man, I done seen our AD every day of them 30 days. And we talked about something that helps our program every day. And here's what I mean. You talk about staff. We have the largest staff in Prairie View A&M football history. There's 24 people on our staff. We've got 13 social media people. We got people running around with cameras. You would think we like Prime. I was at a workout this morning. We got the guy running with the little gimbal deal. I just met that young brother, but he does a good job because we need to put content out. We need to make people know exactly what's going on with our program so that folks can see that we're not what they think we are, that we are different, that we are premier, and we're a premier FCS program in the state of Texas, where I'm just going to say it, football is king. It is what it is. And so we've been able to, I brought 6 guys with me from Valdosta State, pretty much the defensive staff and my special teams coordinator. They made the trek with me. They've been with me ever since I've been a head coach. And you know me, Coach, on defense, we run one thing. I don't call it, and they've tweaked it and done what they need to do with it, but I'm familiar with it. It's very familiar to me. And anytime something don't look right, I can get in there and say something about it. But I was able to hire Chris Buckner to be the OC. Brandon Anderson is our DC who came with me. And so it's a lot of people that I knew. We were really strategic with the staff. We hired based off recruiting and who had relationships in different places. I hired a high school coach from Georgia just because he had coached over 50 FBS players, and good coaches, good high school coaches got connections to good high school coaches, and we want to be in that portal. And if you don't have people with connections all over the country, then it's not going to work for you very well. And so we were really strategic in how we hired, but we were able to create a couple of positions coming in. Coach Colbert is the football ops, and we hired Chris Williams to be the director of recruiting and player personnel. Not too many times do you see a HBCU with a director of player personnel or director of recruiting operations. And so we knew we needed folks. It takes a village, but we had to create our own village within our building. And then once we hired a staff, we hit the road recruiting. And it was, I love me some Houston now. We're going to recruit Houston inside out, left to right, up and down. And so we were able to go out and be visible in Houston. We didn't sign a lot of kids from Houston because we weren't going to settle and just sign what was left. We wanted to make sure we signed people that could actually help Prairie View A&M. But we were able to get to Dallas, find some guys left, some really high caliber players. And we were able to get in a couple of recruiting battles late with the group of 5 schools, and we flipped one. We made another one cancel a visit. We were able to get in there and fight. And then now we're getting ready. We're getting our team ready, Coach. Like we call it dog training. What we know is mat drills and things of that nature. We had our first one today, and we're trying to get this roster ready. So 30 days full of trying to move, get a house, get a car, because I hadn't had to buy a car in 5 years, and so I had to try to buy a car. Got a house, still waiting on my furniture to get here. Coaches are getting placed in their homes and things of that nature. But man, it's been 30 days of fun, and I wouldn't want to take it back.
Yeah, well, about your athletic director, he actually played with one of my homeboys. So when he telling them lies, give me the stats, and I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna check.
Nah, that's my guy, man.
I'm gonna stat check him, Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, I know it's I know every time I've talked with people about you, and I want you to talk about this too. Everybody's seeing you on national television. You're coming in at number 1. And the thing I tell them, well, it was only 2. You didn't play well. I said, well, there's only 2 teams left to even see play. So I don't know how he go from because he had a bad game to, oh man, it's questionable about Kenny Coach. What happened or what did happen? How did you talk with your players? Just kind of give us a scenario of what really kind of happened. Y'all didn't show who y'all really was.
Yeah. Combination of two things. I did a bad job of fighting for what we actually needed when we went out there. But when you haven't had that experience of going out there and being out of routine like we were, then you don't know what you don't know. And so I take full responsibility for us not playing well because the lack of me knowing what to expect led to a lack of preparation, in my opinion. I'll give you this example. We play in the national championship game, and let me just say this, not a lot of people play in national championship games. And so when you play in one in Division II, you leave on Wednesday. Well, Coach, Wednesday is that day. It's a work day. You got your scout team. Well, half the scout team was gone home because it was the break and the cafeteria was closed. So when the cafeteria closed, you can't make nobody kids stay and give you a look when the parents telling them to come home, right? Mm-hmm. So that happened. We get on the plane. We only can travel 58 players. That's the NCAA rule, right? They only gonna pay for 58 people. Well, Ferris State gets there and they've taken 90 people and they've paid the $1,000 a seat past 58. Well, where I was, we was cutting grown folks to not get on the plane. There were certain people that couldn't get on the plane. I was cutting trainers because we just didn't have $1,000. So we get there and now we're going good on good when we've been doing scout teams all week. And ultimately we were just out of routine. And not to mention, we were out of routine and we were 14 scholarships behind the team that we played. And then when you add up that they came out looking like the New York Football Giants and they're really good and they got a well-run program and they had been to the national championship 4 previous times with the same coach, right. It made for a bad day. But even then, we had an opportunity to be successful. We turned the guy free right before the half. They scored a touchdown, and it just ended up being a bad deal. And people, I'll clear this up to everybody right now, right? Because, the people from Valdosta, they watch. They might not say, they might act like they went to Savannah State, but they Valdosta people, right? I had the job at Prairie View 2 weeks before we played in the national championship game, period. So if the rumor that's out there that we lost because I had taken another job, if that was the case, we would have never beat Virginia U. Right. And so it's just one of those deals where it wasn't that I was taking another job. We didn't prepare well because we were out of routine. Totally my fault. And we didn't play well when we got there.
Hey,
it was what it was.
Hey, Coach, I also want to say something else, Coach. That quarterback from Ferris State was a bad man.
He's a good player. And they got a lot of good players. I'll tell you this, Coach Cole, you'll like this because of how we recruited before. Their 3 technique played at the University of Michigan in 2016.
Wow.
He was an Army All-American in 2014. So this dude was 10 years removed from high school. And he looked like he was 10 years removed from high school. But in Division II, you can play, as long as they got semesters, that's right. That's fair game. That's right. And so they did a really good job of recruiting the roster and getting really good players.
He was supposed to be a 5-year NFL guy right by now, huh?
A 7-year vet and retired. And so, and we had some guys that were similar situations, not 10 years removed. I mean, but here's what I'm proud of. We were the 5th team in Valdosta State history to go undefeated in the regular season. That's big in 42 years of football. And especially since the success all happened from 1996 to 2025. No, we were good in they were good in the 80s. They weren't what we were when we got there or what they had been in the early 2000s. And so I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the players that we had because we did it in a new era of football. this wasn't a 4-year football team for us. We had 81 new players come in the program in August. And so we had to merge and bind and jail and do all that in a shorter camp than what Division I gets. And so people always talk about that game, and I guess I'll forever be defined there by that. But we went through a hurricane. We moved our operation to Atlanta for a week. We were all over the place. We had a game canceled. We still found a way to go undefeated all the way to the national championship game. And for that, I'm forever indebted to those players and that staff.
Yeah. Coach, and some of the people, Rocky, want to call in.
I got the number up.
Rock's gonna put the number up. So we'll continue to talk, but when we get a call in, we're gonna try to, because everybody want to know who this Tremaine Jackson guy is.
Hey, I got
it's
a
the
question
kid from Acres Home. It's the kid from Acres Home, Texas, man.
Hey, Coach, well, put your gun up, Coach. No guns allowed on camera. And you'll get that. If you're from Houston, you'll get that one. But here's the deal, Coach. I'm a Texas guy. I'm from here in Waco, Texas. I've been around a long time. And I always said there's no reason why Prairie View should not be an HBCU powerhouse, considering where it sits. Not only being in Texas, with the proximity to the richest, most fertile recruiting ground for football players in the world, which is the 713. You can argue with your mama, but I'm gonna tell you, I put Houston up against anybody, any metropolitan area in the nation. Here's what I want to ask you, Coach. How do you improve Prairie View's status among recruits in the state of Texas? Because that's always been the issue. They would go to Sam Houston. They would go to Stephen F. Austin. Now Tarleton State. They would go everywhere else but Prairie View. How do we get those kids to recognize Prairie View as a legitimate football program?
Two things, Rock. The first thing is we got to get those kids to campus, because one of the issues we found out in the short time that we've been recruiting is when we had some transfer guys come to campus and they went, Coach, I didn't know all this was here. And they're from Houston. I'll give you one better. One of them went to Cy Springs.
No way.
Which is less than 25 minutes from Prairie View A&M. And he was like, Coach, I just didn't know we had all this. And I said, son, school ain't even in yet. If you think that us walking around on a bare campus is something, man, wait till school starts. And so that same young man at the team meeting tonight went, Coach, I'm having a blast. I said, well, son, I need you to go to bed tonight. We're going to work out in the morning. Now, I'm glad you're having a blast. So we got to do a really good job of getting people to come to our campus. How do you get people to come to your campus? You have camps. You recruit your tail off. You have events on campus to get people to your campus. Unofficial junior days. And we're going to have our spring game April 17th. We're going to call it PV Day. And it's right before Good Friday. Ain't nobody got to work Friday. We're going to bring, hopefully we get 300, 350 students, recruits over to our campus so that they can see what we had to offer. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, man, you got to win. You got to put together a product to where you can win. And so here's what I mean by winning, though. We can't be what people think we are. And one example, if at Incarnate Word, they have the highest film service that you can have, right, for coaches, then we can't be having the huddle. We got to match it, or we got to exceed what they have in things. Because when kids go on recruiting visits, they look at everything. And so we got to be able to not put ourselves in this box as just an HBCU. And because when you do that, things that they think just HBCUs do. So we're proud to be an HBCU. I wanted to come back to the HBCU environment. But man, I'm a college football coach. I'm not just a black college football coach. I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't know if anybody in the SWAC is a black college football coach. Man, we're college football coaches. We fought long and hard to get out of segregation. Why do we put ourselves in a box? Why do we continue to call ourselves something other than what we're playing? Our football field the same as it is at the University of Houston. But why is it that they're so superior to us? The answer is it's us. And we got to stop doing that to us. And so I sat and I used to listen to some of the conversations y'all had with people, and people talk about, oh, black college this, black college that. Man, don't label Prairie View A&M football as a black college. Label us as a college football program. I spoke to the Houston high school coaches. I said, here's the elephant in the room. We recruit white kids at Prairie View A&M. So stop marking the white kids off the list because you think we're not going to recruit them. Man, we recruit football players. And so if we can manage those two things, man, and get people to understand that, I think we'll be where we want to be at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's good to hear that, Coach. I think Coach Cole said it once when we was talking on the phone. He said, I coach men, not skin.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna definitely get into this later on about these celebrity coaches, Coach. But this is about you, and I'm glad all the stuff that you brought up. I want to talk about how great of a recruiter you were. And that was one of the biggest things of our success, of my success, was how you could go out and hunt. And you definitely believe in that. And I remember you went and got a guy named Jackson that was being recruited by UCLA and USC, but he had a broke ankle, and I don't know how you pulled it off, but you pulled it off. And I'm bringing that up because you said, and that's always been, even when I started off as a young coach, if we could get players, these players to campus, we got just as good enough chance as anybody else. And once we got that gentleman to campus, Rocky and Coach Bishop, yeah, he was Defensive Player of the Year, in the conference, and he terrorized people. So that's real. That's a very important part. I know it's early. How many guys are you thinking you're gonna return on offense and return on defense?
Well, we returning 0-0, Coach. Let me tell you why. The guys that they were in the fall, I don't want them guys.
My
goodness. The Bible talks about having a new creature. I want a new creature. And so whoever you were, don't bring him back. We're going to coach you up this spring, and we're going to bring back some guys that are of us now. And there were some good players on this roster. People automatically assume that all these things when there's a coaching change, there was good players on this roster. And so we look to keep some of them and then add our flavor to it, in the way that we add our flavor to it. You talk about Marquise, man, me and Coach took him to the Grand Lux on his official visit. And it was something about the strawberry lemonade that made that joker sign right then and there. And he ended up being a good player. But the reason why I was able to recruit is because I worked for a guy that allowed me to recruit. And I think that people don't understand I didn't have to answer to the coordinator. Coach, I got to a point with Coach where he was like, hey, Big Jack, just go get him, baby. That's what he did. Big Jack, just go get him. And so we were able to, I looked at some coordinators and was like, hey man, Coach Cole said we can sign here. Huh? Yeah, don't worry about it. You just call the players. And Ram got to the point where he didn't question anything. And so I'm sitting there working for the head coach that lets me go and sign and travel and do what we need to do. And it paid off. But I'll tell you this too, Coach, man, it was being able to really help with that roster really set me up for what my career ended up being. And, everybody's got general managers these days and all this stuff. I was able to be that, the compliance person, the D-line coach, the head recruiter. And so I was able to be in on some things, man, that really helped me in my career, but I was allowed to do that. And so that's just the coach's credit, man, for allowing a young guy. And he don't remember this, but he told me when he hired me as a tight end coach, damn, coach, we a spread offense now. So the tight end coach need to be the recruiter. And so I had to find my way. And so really grew me up, man. And we're going to do that same thing here. I joke and say we were the portal before the portal. So it's not new to me. And we're in familiar ground right now.
Well, Coach Jackson, as a friend of Coach Cole, and as I've gotten to know him, and he explained to me in great detail the situation, and many times on this show, he's explained the situation at TSU, right? With that being the case, you went through that situation, whatever it was, thrived, and became an awesome head coach. Can you, in 2 minutes, if possible, can you sum up what happened at TSU, and then kind of what is your opinion on why did Coach Cole end up being the man left out in the cold? Just for the pun not intended.
Now you ain't got to answer that.
No, I'll just tell you, and I'll say it like this. There's something, now that I've been in the seat, and Coach used to always sit at the edge of the table and say this to us, man, when y'all in this seat, you're going to understand what this is. And now that I've been in the seat, there's something about a confident person that does exactly what they tell you they're going to do. And when people find a little slip and think they got something, then they try to tear you down. And that's just what happened. Man, Coach wore rings. Coach was confident in what we were going to do. Man, we sat in staff meetings and we talked about the day we were going to hoist the trophy up in Birmingham. He and I went to Birmingham to watch Prairie View A&M win the championship the year before.
In 2009.
And then we were sitting in the press box, and that dude looked over at me and said, "We'll be back here next year." And well, not everybody can deal with a confident person. So everything that might have happened, everything that might have come out or was written, it's like the internet, man. Don't believe everything you read. If you weren't there, you don't know. And so there's some things that I sat back and looked at and went, that didn't happen. But when people are after confident people and people that are winners, you know, they go to no end. And so I'm still, to be honest, I'm still not all the way sure how we even got to that point. But I do know that had we not, man, this league, it wouldn't just be Tremaine Jackson as a head coach in the SWAC. We had several head coaches on that staff, and we would have littered this conference with all having been at the same table at one point, because there was a lot of talented people that Coach was able to put on the staff that are really good football coaches, but they were really good people, and they were future head coaches had we been able to see that thing all the way through.
Hey, you know, Coach, and this is not something that Coach Cole has said to me or anything like that, but I will say this, because me and Coach Cole has had long conversations, is that you come into this conference and ended up being a winner, in my opinion, will somewhat vindicate Coach Cole and his reputation by providing evidence that what you guys did at TSU was right and proper, and you guys were just flat out winners. And that's all it was. It was just winning coaches doing winning things. And so I don't mean to put pressure on you any more than I already have, Coach, but I think
Rob,
you winning could do that for Coach
you
Cole.
ain't putting no pressure on me, Rob. We're gonna win. Like, and I make no qualms about it, bro. I'm not, like I told him at the press conference, I'm not talking big talk. Man, we're gonna win. because we have a structure and a program that we're going to put into place that wins. And again, I'm not a black college coach. I'm a college football coach. And when you're a college football coach and you're confident in the belief of your program, you're gonna win. What we have to do is find out the things that weren't happening on Saturday that made us lose. What are the things on campus that are making us lose? Why are we not being successful? Everybody wants to run the players. Everybody wants to talk to the players, but there's other things on a college campus that contribute to whether your program wins or loses. And we've been able to attack those things with our AD. We've been able to attack them with the top administrators, and we're working on getting those things to where we need at a championship level, because championships are won from the top. I don't care what nobody tell you. I done seen it on every level. And I'll give you this example. I was at Texas State in 2019. We got our brains beat in. They switched situations and administrations, and now Texas State going to bowl game. They did it with some of the same players that we brought there in 2019. And so it's a holistic deal. And when people stop trying to put the wins and losses just on the coach or just on the players, then we'll all figure this thing out. But we're gonna win at Prairie View A&M. So you're not pressuring Tremaine Jackson about winning, because we're gonna win, bro.
Hey, Coach, we got the Rattler here, and he's shaking. I see him shaking over there. He try to remain calm. I gotta see what Coach Campbell. What is FAMU thinking right now with the big bad Tremaine Jackson?
Oh, don't do that.
Coming to the SWAC.
Coach, I had to listen. See, now, Coach, now you get to the intelligent part of the show. I had to let them do all the talking and all that. See, we about to talk football, Coach. See, now, I had to let them, why I didn't interrupt anybody. But, Coach, listen, see, I'm gonna flip this. See, I'm not gonna let you get off the hook on a couple of things.
Okay.
That comp is not half empty; it's half full. That squad has went to the SWAC championship twice in the last 4 years. It's got the best facilities in the SWAC. Like you said, you're right there in Texas. You got a great coach. You got some good-looking women on the campus. So I've always said, and my PV people will tell you, I am an undercover PV fan. There is no reason why PV should not be a power. I have said that from day one. I've been on every one of these platforms. So I'm going to hold you accountable, because you should win at Prairie View. So I don't want to hear none of that Rocky talking about and all that. Because to your point is that if you get people on that campus and let them know how great, you're talking about a top 5 academic institution as far as HBCUs. I'll have to use that designation. But I also say this, Coach, and this is a little secret that I know. I got a lot of friends that went to Texas A&M played on that football team. You know what they would tell me, Coach? It was the football players from PV that graduated that would give them jobs. I'm telling you, and these are NFL guys. I'm not going to say their name because out of respect. So what I'm saying is you're already working with that. So now with that being said, Coach, there is a lot of expectation from the Prairie View fan base. What is your short-term expectation and what is your long-term? What are you going to call the game? Because I tell you one thing that I know, and a lot of people are saying, the first short-term is that first game that y'all are going to play against, as you say, the team down the street. So what are you trying to build right off the rip? Because I heard you talk about perceptions and things like that. How far is your short-term? What are you looking to do? Hey, what is your goal for your first year coming out?
Yeah, well, the first goal, Mr. Campbell, is to win game 1. And what we talk about as a program is you can't talk about winning the SWAC West, winning the SWAC without winning game 1, because it's a unique situation throughout the country where at one point we were the only 2 teams playing in a conference game to start the season. There's a couple of more now, but you talking about how you gonna start in your division and in your conference and being a rival. So short term, we do need to win game 1. But also short term, we expect to compete at a high level, be more prepared, be more disciplined, be more ready for football games than what we might have been before. And that's not taking a slight at anybody. That's just doing things the way that we do them now. And so I'm looking for small victories leading up to the first game. I'm looking for us to make sure we got our shoes tied up in our workout. I'm looking for us to make sure we're not wearing slides all over the place when we come in the weight room. I'm looking for us to make sure that we don't have on jewelry and earrings and hats in the building. Like those are those are things that we don't allow to slide. And some people might say we old school, but that's just how we do it. That's not how that man is or how he wants it. That's how we do it. And so if we can't give them to give up those things, how are we going to get them to run a route? How are we going to get them to play the right coverage? And so there's some things that I'm looking for as the head coach that are what we call small victories leading up to game one. Now, when you flip to long term, we expect to be 10-game winners year in and year out and compete and win the Celebration Bowl as we win the SWAC West and as we win the SWAC Championship. That's what we expect to be. We feel like we're going to build ourselves to the resources that it takes to do that. We feel like we're going to recruit and prepare our guys at the level that it takes to do that. And we think even with this new house settlement coming down, that Prairie View A&M is going to remain competitive in that manner when it comes to playing FCS college football. That's what we believe. And so we got to make sure now. Let me say this before you go, Mr. Campbell, because our alumni need to understand something. It costs to win. And so
let me turn
I
that
just
up.
laid out short term and long term. I need people to match me on their short term for the alumni. I expect them to donate $35 starting tomorrow. We're about to launch a campaign.
Coach, now, this is my side of the show, Coach. Coach,
where's that link at, Coach? Where can I find that link at?
We'll put it out on. So I can't put it out till tomorrow, but we got a fundraiser that starts tomorrow. We're trying to raise $350,000 before our first game, and it starts with just everybody giving $35. Give us $35. And let's see how many $35. Now, if the good Lord leads your heart to give us $35,000, we'll take that too.
We'll take it all.
We'll take that too. But you cannot have an expectation of me and you be expectation free. And for a long time, the Alabamas, the Texases, the Oklahomas, they are those people because their alums refuse to watch them be anything else. And so I need the alumni to make a decision. What are you willing to pay for? What do you want to watch? And then you can hold me as accountable as you want to, but you can't hold me accountable behind the keyboard and you ain't even got a ticket. You watching the game on ESPN stream, but I'm a bad coach. You're a bad fan. And so we got to make sure that we're holding each other to the same accountability. And I tell everybody in our alumni, man, we got to come on with it. We can't just beat people off of our academics and the fact that the heel is jumping. We got to come on with it. And it costs to come on with it. And so that's the expectations that we got.
Mr. Campbell,
real quick, let me slide these in, and Campbell, you can go right back. One of your alumni call you TJ, known from the Houston North Side. He said the 44 is with you 200%. Then, of course, I
200,000 from the 44.
Then I talked to my homegirl. She getting her group and go invite you down to her 5-bedroom house out in Sienna Plantation with a group of folks. So, they coming in as you talk, Coach. So
that's it.
Now, Coach, I had to change my background now because you talking about now. See, that's a check right there behind me, Coach. That's getting donate. See, Coach, that's $80,000 check right there, Coach. So, see, I'm going to challenge these PV people because I told them the only way you went. See, you remember we were national champions over here at Florida A&M, Coach, and that's how you win that because you cut them checks like that. So I'm going to tell all my PV people. See, I don't want to hear all this talk about I want to win. The only way you're going to win is if you do this what I did in the background. So I want all my nephew line. I want you to get your classmates and get that crew together. And I need to see that check for the coach. Now, Coach, I want to go to the next thing because recruiting is so important. You're in Texas, you're in a hotbed. But and shout out to my nephew Blue on the Blue Bloods. I saw your interview there. But I want to talk about your recruit philosophy. I thought very interesting. There's 2 parts I want to talk about. How you're going to work the portal between getting guys that are already in the portal versus high school, and also how long they're going to only be on campus, Coach, and what they're actually going to do. Why don't you tell us about, hey, you're letting them know you're not here to do a song and dance presentation. You're here to present them to be a football player in Prairie View, and also your mix and what you're looking for to be a Prairie View Panther.
Yeah, so we talk about recruiting the portal a lot, right? Because at some point in today's game, you're going to go to that portal. You're going to go early when you're new and you can control it and develop and get your program together, or you going to go when you're in the last year of your contract and you just trying to figure out something to make it last. We choose to go early. We choose to start with the portal and make sure we get guys that are ready to go. I missed the first signing day because we were playing. So there's some good players left, but it's kind of like going to the rack at Nordstrom's, right? Like before Christmas, it's probably going to be a little picked over, and you might not get the best shoe. But when you come back the next year, you know when to go shop. And so we're going to get in that portal. We make no qualms about it. If you know me, you know I've always been a 21 and up guy. And but we have some 18-year-olds who put X's on back of their hand to get into this club called Prairie View A&M. And so we recruit both. We do think your high school depth can help you later on down the line as you develop it. But you got to be careful with high school players because you can put all this money into them and develop them, and then they leave on you. And that's just the game that we play, right? When I was at the other place, my third best receiver ended up going to a group of 5 and being their best receiver. Now, tell me how that works. How you go from Division II to the FBS, you were winning all conference in Division II, and you're the best receiver in their school history in 1 year. And so we put a lot of time in that guy. We developed that guy. But at the end of the day, he had an opportunity he couldn't pass up. So we manage how we do that. When you talk about recruiting visits, when you come to Prairie View A&M, and Coach Cole remember this, we used to bring them in on Friday midday, wine them and dine them all night. All night. I mean, within the rules, but wine them. I mean, took them to some fabulous restaurant. We go to the Grand Lux. I mean, we were at a place that had all of that. So sometimes we would argue over what fine dining we were going to take them to. Hey, man, let's take them to Papa Do's. No, man, I ate fish last week. Let's take them to Fogo de Chao. We just had options. We do that Friday. We put them on campus Saturday. We wine them and dine them again Saturday night. Then we get them up and wine them and dine them for a brunch on Sunday and then get them out of there. 48 hours of just straight whining and dining. Man, when you come to Prairie View A&M, we bring you in on a Friday afternoon, take you to Topgolf, stay there for about 2.5 hours, send you home to the hotel to go get you some rest, bring you over the next day, show you how we're going to get you better as a man, as a person, as a student, as a football player, and we get you out of there before 5 o'clock. It's less than 24 hours in sometimes. Well, people say, why do you do that? We do it because nowadays, a lot of these parents can't handle the whining and dining. Everybody always talk about the kid. A lot of parents can't handle the whining and the dining, and then that kid comes back and you start coaching that kid, and he go, man, that's not the same guy from recruiting. And they call it de-recruiting. I ain't got time to de-recruit you. Here's what it is. We bring you in, we show you this, we go through our blueprint. You either want us or not. If you don't want us, that's fine. Somebody does. And you'll watch us hold up this trophy if you don't want us. But what we found is if we put it straight to kids, if we tell them what it is, parents that still parent appreciate that. Parents that give out iPads so their kids can leave them alone, they might not appreciate that. And so you got to find the right people. Here's the other reason. If you're not a straightforward type of kid, you won't make it here. You won't make it in the program because we work straightforward. We get you on that line early in the morning and it's coming and you can't run from it. And if you do, you got to go find compliance and get in the portal. This is tough, but it's tough to win. And so, man, we choose to do things our way, and it's worked for us everywhere we've been.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, I love that coaching talk, Coach. Yeah. I heard a coach the other day say, you got to choose your heart. And again, I'm not talking about nothing freaky. When he say you got to choose your heart, what he means is It's either the hard work, like you say, in the early mornings, the working out, the doing what you're supposed to do, the being on time, all that, or you choose that hard in the fall, watching them scores on the opponents go up and yours be down. You got to choose your heart. And so I like that, Coach. So, but this is what I want to say, Coach. What can be done? Because one of the problems I have as a Prairie View parent is that the alumni is a tremendous alumni. The reason why my daughter goes to Prairie View is because of the success of some of my friends and classmates and people that I grew up with, the success they've had by being Prairie View graduates, right? However, they're very apathetic about coming back on campus other than homecoming to experience a game. What can be done to improve that situation? Because I think if you're going to be a winner, you got to have butts and seats. You got to create an environment that's about winning. And after going through the SWAC a little bit, going to FAMU, and also experiencing Southern and even Alabama State on a spring game, that environment at Prairie View leaves something to be desired. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Two things. We've got to do a better job as a program of really going out to the people, doing more community service events, really getting our team out in front of people. So people support people that they believe in, man. Like, nobody, how dare we ask somebody to buy a ticket to watch us play and we've done nothing for them? How dare we do that? Like who are we to do that? And I tell our team that all the time. Also, the second thing is, how dare we ask somebody to come watch us and we put a lukewarm, mediocre product out there? Can't do it. And man, this is what it is. Like, we need to help people and we need to play hard. And that way, when people come, whether we win or lose, when people come, they can say, man, look, they didn't win, but I'm telling you, them boys play hard. Or there's something different about these guys. I'm going to go back next week and support. Because right now, from what I've seen on tape, we only come when the teams that we want to see play come. If we're playing Susie Lou State, nobody going to come. But boy, let Southern get there. Because we know Southern going to show up. So we don't want our school, because the Prairie View alumni, they got a lot of pride in Prairie View A&M. Lots of pride. And we don't want to be outdone. But man, we gotta do something to go help them. We're calling around now to do community service projects, and our kids are gonna go out and be out. And we're not like putting that stuff on social media, because we don't do it for that. We do it because it's better to give than to receive. But certainly, how dare we do anything, not do anything, and want somebody to come support us? But here's what I believe. Boy, when we come off that hill game one, they gonna come game two. Yeah. When we come off that hill game one, and they hear that they'll be there game two. That's what I really believe, and we getting ready to do that right now, man. And so it's gonna be trouble when we come off that hill, and then the word will get out. You know, like I know, when the SWAC, when the word get out, people gonna come see.
Coach, you're speaking to some alumni right now. And for some reason, of course, they know our connection, but, you know, I get it, you know, and as I fight, you one of my favorite, man. And what do you tell them, Coach? You know, and I want you to, once you get off of, they've been told, what do you need from them, Coach? What do you need from them, Coach?
We need time and money. It's really just that simple. We need time from people that are successful, that have been through our school. We need you to come back and talk to our players about how to be successful as a Prairie View A&M graduate. Again, not as a Black college graduate, as a Prairie View A&M graduate. How did you navigate this world? How did you get to the level that you own, of success that you have, so that others behind you can follow in those footsteps and maybe maybe, just maybe, you meet one of our kids that are qualified that you want to reach back, grab, and pull up to. So we need that. We need time. Give us your time. And then, man, we need money. We got 105 guys. It costs. And listen, it's been a tariff on football. There's been people talking about tariffs and all that. It's been a tariff on football. It costs what it costs. Hotels go up every year. Buses go up. You can't even get a bus quote right now because everybody waiting to see what everybody else doing so they can tax everybody. And so it costs. Players are being paid. There's collectors being formed. It costs everywhere. Coaches being paid. Yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, Coach, I want to say something about that because I got a little friend of mine. You know what I mean? Her mama's class of 1959, Prairie View. So her mom been giving money since 1959. But one of the advice I would give you, Coach, and I hear this from a lot of alums, they want to give money, but they think it's just going in a pot. So are you going to be one of those coaches that say, hey, I need money for A, B, C, D. It costs $15,000 for this, $30,000 for that. Because what I have found, and I'll talk about this from Florida A&M standpoint, when a coach says we need exactly that amount and that target, we kill it. When they just say, hey, we just need money, it never comes. So do you think that might be more of a tactic? And I'm just saying this as somebody who's helped fundraise, that maybe you go to these people because you got some successful folks at Prairie View. Absolutely. But them folks is accountants down there. They got hey man, them folks are smart. So we've heard so many times, and Coach, and you know this. You talked about the black college thing. There are stereotypes that come with that I see that you're ready to break. But I think one of those things, the way you break it, Coach, is that you just call it straight and say, you want us to be a championship team? We need a training table. That costs $40,000. So which one of you guys are going to stand up and start this $40,000 campaign for this? So those are things that, do you think that's something, is that your style? I mean, again, is that your style?
Absolutely.
Very direct like that?
Absolutely. Mr. Campbell, here's what we're doing right now. You talk about the first 30 days, then there's another 90 days where you start learning things about the university, right? And how the university operates and works. So like everybody goes, what do you need? Man, give me a little time, because when I tell you what I need, I'm going to be very specific with it. Let me address that black hole comment, where that money goes in that black hole, right? If you address that money to football and you tell me that you address that money to football, football going to get that money, because that's how our athletic director works. So I can't speak for nobody else's AD, but when football is addressed to football, and we're going to get the money and nobody else. And I don't want to cut nobody, but when it's just football, we're going to get that money. But we do have things that are itemized. We do. I need $17,000 to get Catapult, the film service.
You hear him?
I need $17,000 to do that. I do need $38,000 to get a training table. And so here's what we need. We need to get the $350,000, and we need to get there quick. There's a $300,000 shortfall right now. And it's nobody's fault, but it's just what's coming with this new NCAA. And so we need that. We need, when we launch this fundraiser tomorrow, we need that's the first thing we need is $350. And then we need the $350 the next year too. Because here's the deal about fundraising that people don't wanna talk about. Just because you raise it in 1 year, the kids just gonna eat one time? They just gonna eat for that season? What about 26? They gotta eat in 27. And so we need to raise that consistently over time. Every year, we need the same $350. And let me tell you how I know it's doable. At the last place I was at, I was responsible for raising $300,000 a year. The program didn't operate if we didn't raise $300,000 a year. And I'm talking about, that wasn't for anything special. That was for gas on the bus. Wheels on the bus, the oil change, $300,000.
Hey, Coach. You know, when you start talking about raising money, fundraising, whatever, that's where to me, that's where support and is really the line is really drawn, right? Mm-hmm. And I like to hear the way that you talk about fundraising and things like that. As a head coach, how much responsibility as a HBCU is fundraising? Because I think a lot of these coaching hires are being made in hopes that these hires will generate funds. But as a businessman and looking at the I guess the org chart, fundraising should not necessarily be in the coach's purview per se. But I see you have engaged the responsibility of fundraising, and you've taken it on. Looks like somewhat of a challenge. Should that be the case in every situation?
I just think that he's bringing it out that this is the plan, and he has to help sell the plan, not necessarily that it's his. Damn, I'm asking for you, Coach.
Well, no, I'm not the lead fundraiser.
Go ahead.
We got a development team. Our AD handles a lot of that in the place of me. But I will say this: as the head football coach and being the largest sport coach, there's an obligation that I have when I put on this A&M that says fundraising is a part of the deal, and I have an obligation to my team to make sure that we're providing the very best experience so that they can be our next boosters. And so I do take on some of it personally because I do think, man, I was walking around in Target earlier with this shirt on. Fundraising is simply branding. I see the brand. You see this A&M, you know I'm big. I got to do something. No matter what you think I might do, I do something. And so if I can strike up a conversation with somebody, man, you never know who you're striking up that conversation with and what they can do for your program, alum or not. And so I do think some of it just comes with the territory. And you can do one or two things as a coach. You can run from it or complain about it, or you can embrace it. You can embrace it and say, man, we're fixing to get this done. And the alums that I've talked to, the alums that hit me up on Instagram and all of that, they want to do it. Sometimes the alumni base just doesn't know how to do it. And so I think we got a unique ability and an opportunity, man, to really take this bull by the horns and get what we need. And I think AD Golf and I are on the same page with that.
Yeah. Hey, kind of take us through spring from now to the spring game. Have you got the date of the spring game, or take us through? Do you do
April 17th? I got it, Coach.
And Coach, why is that game on a Thursday too? Because as you answer that question, because I'm really curious about that too.
Yeah, it's the Thursday before Good Friday. It gives people something to do, to come out on the hill on the Thursday, maybe relive your college days, and you ain't got to go to work the next day, most people. But it also gives us an opportunity as a staff. I don't believe in practicing on Saturdays in the spring. I believe that coaches who have families should spend time with their families in the spring on the weekend. Because every Saturday in the fall, from August to December, is taken. And so in my experience, if you want to burn a coach out and not get the very best out of him in the fall, make him work year round on Saturdays and his family don't see him. Man, that I learned that a long time ago. And so we practice every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But to answer your question, Coach, we've got these dog trainers that we're in every Tuesday and Thursday. We'll do that up until spring break. They're working out 3 times a week. Other than that, on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they got a little session that they can volunteer on their own on Saturday and go in. It's really just a team bonding session that all of them have decided that they wanted to do. No coaches are even there besides the strength coach. So they'll do that for a while. We got to get strong. We got to be in better shape. March 17th, when we come back from spring break, we'll start spring ball that Tuesday, man, on the 18th, and we'll get going. And we'll go every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. There is one Saturday, April 5th, that we're going to practice on that Saturday, and we do a kids day. We call it Panther Kids Day, where it's elementary school kids. Our players coach the camp. We put them through stations, But again, it's an opportunity for us to give back what was given to us. A lot of kids in Waller County, a lot of kids in Cy-Fair. It's a free camp. We don't charge anything. All the parent has to do is sign them up and bring them over. And it's about an hour and a half. It's nothing major. But we think that's really important for our community to give back to younger people a football camp. And once we get done with spring ball, you know, we live in the age of the transfer portal, and evaluations and decisions have to be made on our roster. We think that you know, everybody talks about this house settlement. There's going to be some decisions that have to be made on walk-on players and how we go about that. No more can you have 130 guys on your roster. And so we got to make some tough decisions. And then we got to get out and spring recruit the month of May and go to these high school jamborees and scrimmages and really try to stake our claim in this class of 2026, since now we'll have a full cycle.
Yeah. Coach, explain that. You said house settlement?
Yeah, so the NCAA was sued by a couple of guys, and so there's a settlement that is happening where there's going to be roster limits. There's going to be, like now, Coach, it could be where a team could have up to 105 scholarships instead of 63 to get to 85.
Right.
Or, you know, you can opt in or opt out. And there's just a lot of information that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months that'll tell us where we stand. Right now, we're operating in the dark a little bit. And people in the FCS are trying not to deal with it, right? We think it's a Power 5 issue. Right. It's a Division I issue. And the more you're educated on it, the better you're going to come out of it, in my opinion. But we got to be ready for it. And that's supposed to happen in April, right around the time of our spring game, or maybe a little bit later. But I think you're going to see a brand new NCAA. And so people are going to have scholarship raises or scholarship, you know, scholarships are going to lessen in other sports. Anything can happen because, as we know, if you say you're going to sue, somebody changed the rule. And so anything can happen. We just got to be ready for it.
Hey, Coach, let me read off what Coach Jackson. I want to give the information what you're talking about, because this is what we like to do in the show. So I'm going to kind of piggyback off what Coach is saying. FCS schools that opt in the house settlement can go above the 63 scholarship limit. It won't impact playoff eligibility. However, an FCS conference can set a cap on the number of football scholarships. Even in the Big Sky, for example, set the cap at 63. A team that opts in can spread their 63 scholarships over 105 players instead of the current 63 scholarships spread over 85 players. A team can also hypothetically offer a number of non-scholarship players an in-house NIL deal that pays their tuition. So they could creatively go over the scholarship minimum anyway if the conference sets a cap. So these are the things that coaches point that we don't even know what the conferences are going to do. Not just the teams, and those are things.
I got money on what the SWAC gonna do.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. But to Coach's point is that it's something that's not even in his control, because if the conference goes one way and says we're going to do this, and Prairie View say, well, we're going to go the other way, but there could be a conflict. So again, I just wanted to read that because that is a really big thing, Coach, that you're talking about. I just want to give people a little bit background perspective on that.
I appreciate it.
Based on what you just read, Bishop, it seems like you can set the limit at 63, but if you got the money, you can go all the way up to fully funded 105. So your conference can set the limit wherever it wants to, but if your money is right, you can have as many players as you want all the way up to 105. So that's why you saying what you simply saying, Coach, Prairie View need a war chest. You need a war chest. Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's a lot of uncertainty.
Well, they got an alumni base, man.
They got the bread. Again, they got the bread.
I've been around 40 years, and I know, Bishop, you've been around just as long. Even when they were at their lowest low, their fans still came out because they love the university. You know what I mean? And they support the university, win, lose, or draw. You know, I think, and I know you know the history now, Coach Jackson. I know you don't study the history. And they used to have a coach named Coach Nixon. The last last consistent winning coach. And that had to be how many years ago?
60s.
And they still, came out to support the head coach. And I think, those every time those coaches come around, every 50, 40, 30 years in coach, I think you that guy. And I'm telling the Prairie View fans that you that guy and that this is a keeper. And you guys gonna have to. Hey, it's just like the Wizard of Oz when the house fell on the wicked witch, and then all the monkeys start coming out. Well, we need you to come out, Prairie View, and this man got a plan, and he got a plan for your money, to be able to come out. Coach, let's pivot for a minute, to talk about these celebrity coaches.
Mhm.
And I'm glad we kind of let you talk. And I thought that my staff, and you said it, you took the words out of my mouth, that when you work around good people, and you learned your philosophy, you took a piece from me, you took a piece from LC, you took a piece from Kevin Ramsey, you took a piece from Melvin Spears. You were around some good guys, as well as then when you start moving in your career, of course, you got around. How important is that to you as a head coach? Or how important is that to just a head coach, period, that you think, or do you think these cats can come in and sit in that seat where you sitting in today and knowing what you know, that you just think that somebody can sell that to you?
Yeah, I think the experiences matter. And the people that you get to sit back and learn from and it not be on your record matters. And I'll just be honest, man. I like you said, I got a chance to sit in the room where you were at the head of the table. Melvin Spears was on one side, Kevin Ramsey on the other side. LC was there before Kevin Ramsey was there. Man, and just really hear the stories, but also be put in situations where guys are pouring into you and telling you what you can do better than what they did. LC used to sit there and tell me, I got involved with compliance because of LC Cole. Because he was like, hell, Jack, don't let nobody tell you what's going on in compliance. You need to make sure you know for yourself. All right, I'll go do compliance. And so I think those experiences matter. And I just got so much respect for the chair, until I do think that you have to be ready for the chair. Now, I'm not saying that those guys aren't ready for the chair. I just know for me, my experiences, my upbringing in the profession, and 14 years of back and forth and round the block and living in these different places and dealing with different types of players, it really helped me. It really helped. And being around different types of coaches, it really helped me in all areas of my career. When I was a defensive coordinator, it helped me. When I was just a position coach, it helped me. And obviously now sitting here as a head football coach, the last 5 going into 6 years, it definitely helped me. And I think those things matter. And I think if you skip that step, then you have to learn on the job per se, because nobody's really ready until you get in the seat. But at least you have an idea if you've had those experiences. If not, you got to really, really strap up and be ready to go. And I'll tell you, the biggest thing about being a head coach is having good coaches. Like having people around you at that table that are doing their job at a high level. It's nothing like it. I thought I was a good football coach. I thought I could scheme with the best of them. But man, when I really realized what it was really about and why we were winning, I realized that sometimes, man, I'm not even there when those coaches are putting together that plan on either side of the ball. And so it really made me, I think I haven't gotten a lot of things right, but I've hired well. If you look at the coaches that I've hired and where they went on to, man, my first OC at Valdosta State is the OC at Western Kentucky right now. He had never called plays before. And man, we met in a coffee shop in San Antonio at the convention, and he had a plan and he had a vision. He was going to work it. And so, man, I've been blessed. My last OC at Valdosta State, he got the job at Valdosta State. He's 32 years old. He had one of the top offenses in the country. My OC now is very talented. My defensive coordinator has had multiple opportunities to leave, and he hadn't left. He just likes being with me. I can't get rid of him. And so it's one of those deals, man, where I've hired well, but I've learned how to hire based on watching coaches that I've worked with. And people don't know this about Coach Cole, and he ain't gonna say this. In 2010, the hobo was the hobo, but we had some issues. And Coach Cole started running the football at a high level, and we started calling it the whole row because we wasn't throwing the ball down the field because we just had some issues. We started running the football, and he put it in the defensive's hands. Now, this is Johnny Cole at Texas Southern, the former quarterback who is here to save the program, and I watched him be very humble in the situation, put his pride and ego aside in order to win. I wouldn't have had that experience if I wasn't there. I wouldn't have seen that. And we had the number one defense in the country, and he celebrated it. He wasn't mad like some of them guys. He celebrated. He celebrated. And I use a line today that Coach said in the meeting when he made the decision, because it took him a while. And I get it. Now that I get it. But, man, he was like, shoot, Coach, man, if we win the championship, they're going to pour water on me anyway. And it was a funny statement, but it was true. And what he basically was saying was, man, it don't have to be about the hobo. It's about winning. And however we got to win this year, this is the way we'll win. Maybe it'll turn in the future. And man, I think seeing that really helped me because we changed defenses at Valdosta State, and everybody knows Tremaine Jackson like 4D lineman. It ain't no secret.
That's right.
And we were able to mix it up, man, and do some different things. But I had to swallow that and put that aside. And I referenced that moment. And we ended up winning 25 games in 2 years.
You mean to tell me you gave up 210, baby?
No, we still 212. We
212.
still 212. But we just do it a little. We get to it differently now.
Yeah. That's important. That's important.
Hey.
Man, you so where you think, Coach, that you're coming into the SWAC? You know, you're a SWAC guy. Where do you think that the SWAC is of a whole? You know, and see, people don't know, Jack. You know, we of course, you know, we went through all, you know, our stuff, but we talk and we've always used to keep up with the SWAC teams. Mm-hmm. Where do you think we are? I mean, you were there with some greats: Pete Richardson, Broadway, Jones, you know, LC. I mean, you were there with some great coaches. Not saying the ones we have are not, but they're coming. You know, a lot of them are coming in and being first-time head coaches. Where do you think the conference is at, you know, from your perspective?
I think the conference is still as talented as it's ever been. I think also the turnover in the conference, you know, the quarterback play was down this past year. I think that had a lot to do with the turnover of head coaches in the conference. Got a guy like Willie Simmons, who's known for offense, leaving. You know, the guard changed there. You just look at it as a whole. The quarterback play was down, but the skill level is still as talented as it's ever been, in my opinion, because of the amount of transfer guys that are coming into the league that now want the HBCU experience, right? And so people have access to just better players because they want to be there. But I also think that us as a conference, we have to continue to find ways to be better. And we have to continue to find ways to grow and make sure our product is of one of those that is the best in the country. And somebody mentioned earlier in the comments, why is he dissing being black? I'm not dissing being black. I want to make sure us as black people show that we can compete everywhere, not just amongst ourselves. So I'm not dissing being black. And if you know me, it don't get no blacker than me. I'm from Acres Homes, Texas. You can't fake being black in Acres Home, Texas. And so, but I do believe that we're very smart, we're very talented people, and we need to stop putting ourselves in a box and go compete against everybody instead of just caring about when we play each other. And I'm not telling us not to care about it, but we need to be able to compete nationally. Because the first question you asked me was, why do we struggle against PWIs? Well, we struggle against PWIs because we don't really care about those games. We care more about the games against each other. We need to care about all the games. Yeah. And I think people fought, bled, and died for us to be competitive and have a voice in our country, not just in our neighborhood. And so we got to be ready for that. But I think our conference has to continue to find ways to be better. I'd like to see us play on more TV and not just the stream television, because I think our product is that. I'd like to see us bring back the Thursday night games that was going on every Thursday, like when we were there before. And I think there's a lot of value in putting our product on TV. I don't think anybody would be against playing on a Wednesday night like some of these Conference USA games. Yeah. I wouldn't. An opportunity to put our stadium on national TV, man, I think we got to look into all options, because now we're at a point to where all options are on the table. Yeah. And so nobody wants to play on a Saturday night in Panther Stadium more than me. Nobody. But I think if we got a chance to play on regular ESPN and play Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, we need to take a look at that. All those are things that I know our conference wants to do. And I'm looking forward to us getting to the table to see what it is that they have to do.
Hey, Coach,
go ahead.
I was just going to ask Coach this question. Because you were a D2 coach. There's two things I want to ask. You can answer them however you want to order them. One is, can you explain the success of D2 players at the FCS level versus FBS players coming down to the FCS level? Meaning that in my short time of viewing HBCU football, the D2 players, in a lot of cases, have been wildly successful at the FCS level, coming from D2. That's one. You deal with that because they may be related. The other question is, the D2 coaches, up until recently, weren't being given jobs, opportunities to elevate from D2 to FCS on the HBCU level, right? They were just doing the whole circle jerk around each other. Mm-hmm. With guys like you and Sam Shade, and even a guy that didn't get hired this year, Teddy Keaton, who had a lot of success at Clark, do you think that's, with you and Sam's success, a guy like Teddy might get an opportunity to come up to this level?
Yeah, I think guys like Chennis Berry helped that. I think guys, Chennis Berry came from Benedict, went to South Carolina State, won immediately. Well, when you see where he took the program at Benedict from and where he ended up, I was in the same region as him. So I saw it for myself on tape week in and week out. I think that helped the situation. Coach Shade always had a really good product at Miles. We played him twice in my time there. And so we were able to see it glow and grow, as they say, man. We were able to see that. And then, guys like me, man, I'm just a guy happy to be here with a plan, right? And so hopefully we get a chance to help move the needle. But I think Division II coaches coming up to the SWAC, to the MEAC, to any FCS program, they really know what it is to do, because you have to be very unique in how you scholarship in Division II. And I think a lot of guys struggle on this level and don't know how to maneuver in that space. And so when you go from the FBS to the FCS, where things are different, and maybe you had a lot of things done for you in the FBS, you got to kind of get it out the mud. And in Division II, man, you're getting it out the mud. So it's very comfortable for me to walk over and check class. It's very comfortable for me to be running study hall. Now, I don't have to do that here at Prairie View. I don't have to do any of that, but that's comfortable for me. And so when you come from that Power 5, you don't know, a lot of times you don't know the first thing about that type of stuff. And so it takes you a year or two to learn even how things work. And so while you can't even get to the football because you're still getting hit with financial aid and all the things that you never had to deal with. And so I think it's a little bit more to it. When you look at the success of Henry Frazier coming up from Bowie to Prairie View A&M, he had a lot of success. Coach Cole came from Lane, where he was lining the field and came into the league and had a lot of success. I think that level of success in the history of it is just better than guys coming down.
What you think about Teddy? What you think about Teddy Keaton at Clark?
Yeah, I think coaches. I thought he was going to be in this class, honestly, because I think he does a really good job. Obviously I was in Georgia, got a chance to watch them play a couple of times. Saw him play against Miles when we broke down Miles. I think Teddy has always had an explosive offense. And LC over there blitzing from the heel. And so, I start calling out pressures when we watch them play.
They matter of fact, they play on the first game of the year, Clark and Valdosta.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Are they playing in that classic game?
Yeah.
I knew Miles had left the classic game. So, I think that Coach Keaton is up next. He's always done a really good job of representing wherever he's been on the national committees, on the rules committee, coaches connection, things where we normally are not as Black coaches, let alone guys in HBCUs. And so I think he's got what it takes to be next, and look forward to seeing where he's going to be.
Well, let me say this, Coach Jack. I'm getting these Panthers. Look, Jack, the only thing I told him, I said, look, I'm going to get to Jack, but I ain't wearing no PV shirt now. I ain't going to put on no TC shirt. Tell TJ, no worries, the Panther backers got you, and I'm sending $100 tonight. All right? I got to know. You can tell your homegirl went to PV on the track team. She would definitely be on the board to get us to the next level. He has a lot of respect for you. I love how he talks about, and I'm in love with him already. So, man, look, hey, man, you, and I tell people you got what it takes, and you're gonna move this program where it needs to go. Coach, are you bringing players from Valdosta State with you? How many have you brought? Are you, or did you like, hey guys, I'm headed out, how's that coming?
No, we brought a couple with us. Like my grandma used to say, there's always a ram in the bush. And so we brought a couple with us. I'll tell you this funny story right quick, Coach, because we talk about loving our players, and we all in there crying and Coach, I love you. I wherever you go, I'll go. And so we offered a couple of them, and then they start getting Michigan State. They start getting James Madison. They start getting some of the bigger schools, West Virginia, and them NIL deals start coming out. And then I ain't hear from nobody. It went crickets on me. I said, well, damn, I thought you loved me. He said, Coach, man, I love you, but man, that's big time ball. I said, man, you gotta go. You gotta go. And again, just the time that we in, we have really good players at Valdosta State that we were able to assemble and acquire over time. But man, we brought a couple, but we brought the right couple. I learned something when I went from Mesa to Valdosta State. And I had brought 12 players with us from Mesa to Valdosta State. And those guys, a lot of them were all conference out there out west, but they didn't do anything at Valdosta State. And for one reason or another. And so what I learned is just because you could play for us over there, don't necessarily translate to you being able to play for us over here. And so we had to find the right guys that could play for us over here. And that's not just on the field, that's in the culture, in the locker room, making sure guys handle their business in the classroom. And so we think we found the right couple of guys to do that. that are helping us with the culture in the locker room because they've been through dog training before. They know what it's like. They don't want to do it.
So you had some mid-semester transfers already?
Oh yeah, because you gotta bring them at mid-year for them to have a chance. You gotta let them get acclimated to this Houston heat. It's February the 4th, and I was out there in shorts and a t-shirt today, and somebody had on some flip-flop as I was getting some lunch. It ain't like this everywhere, and so we wanted to bring them out here and get them ready to go. But we got some.
Do we got a quarterback, or are we still?
We're waiting. We're waiting on the quarterback to show us that they can win the team and not turn the ball over. That's who's going to be the quarterback of the Prairie View A&M Panthers. The guy that can win the football team and the guy that can take care of the football.
Do we have somebody coming from outside?
Yeah, we got 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
Okay.
All of them are Division I transfers.
Okay.
And so we'll find out.
Do they have any film, Coach?
Yeah, they got film. They got film. Here's what I learned about y'all show. Coaches be watching. I ain't giving up many things on here.
Yeah.
I ain't giving up. They're going to have to work to get these names.
Coach, you sound like the coach from Nebraska now, so that's why that's what it is, Coach. You're not having that spring game because you don't want to see your players. That's
on a Thursday. If you want to come watch us play, you're going to come on a Thursday.
You're going to have to take off work.
Yeah, you're going to miss something in this deal.
Yeah. Now, Coach, are you having open practice, or if I'm an alumnus and I want to, be able to come in and donate money to you, have you set up that type of situation? I know you got Coach Colbert kind of running your operations.
Yep.
You got to get your development fund, program. Have you had time to set all that up yet?
Yeah, that's kind of what's going to launch tomorrow. Practices are open to former players, high school coaches, and generous donors. That's who practices are open to. And so,
what about media members, Coach?
Yeah, you go through Coach Colbert. Coach Colbert he'll assign the media passes. But no, if any one of those people want to come to practice, they just need to reach out to Coach Colbert and set it up. We'll put something out there on social media. We love having people at practice. People always get nervous about people spying. Half the people that come to practice don't even know what's going on. They just go, and some of them will go back and hype the program up, and you think you had a bad day, and they around here talking about how good you're going to be. And so we certainly want our alums, our football alums, to always have an open door at our place. And got a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame, a lot of guys that have done some things for our program. We got an football alumni association that they're doing great things for our players. So they're always welcome. Generous donors, always welcome. You come sit in my office and watch the tape with me if you're generous enough. And so we can be bought. The tape can be bought.
Let me give you this. Let me get an email. It's Dr. Colbert, DrColbert at pvamu.edu. If you want to come out and set up, meet with Coach Jackson, that's DrColbert at pvamu.edu. I just want to put that out there.
Hey, Coach, now let me ask you this. This guy's all over social media right here, Coach. Be careful about him. You see his name, PV versus everybody? Coach, he had everybody hating PV, man. He printed out championship shirts. He did everything. Oh, Coach, I'm telling you. Hey, this guy right here, tell him don't print no championship shirts out. That jinked us, man. That jinked on Prairie View, man.
And look, Coach Bishop over there quiet. His cousin there was talking about SWAC championship the first part of the year. And Coach, it was over about 4 weeks in the season, wasn't it, Coach?
No, hold on now. Wait a minute now. We were already good until we got to Jack State. And then we okay. But Coach, listen, I'm gonna give you something. Because you're coming into a program, everybody has the expectation. But what I'm gonna say, and I'm saying this with a lot of respect, I am so impressed with you. Because I see the passion, I see that you care about yourself and your players, and man, I think that you're just going to be super. The SWAC needs good coaches. See, like I say, me and Coach, listen, man, I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. I saw the W.C. Gordons. I saw the Pete Richards. I saw Archie Cooley Gunslingers. I saw Marino Castle. I saw Eddie Robinson. I saw Houston Mark. Those made the SWAC. And when you got great coaches, that means you're going to create great players. And the way we beat as they say, these PWIs, you got to coach first, but you also got to coach them up to be able to beat them. So I'm super excited for what you do. And I'm going to say one last thing is that coaches already told you, y'all can sponsor that training table. You put your name on the training table. You can sponsor that film, and you can sponsor anything else because coaches say he's open for business. So, Coach, I'm really impressed. Now, Coach, one other thing, too, I got to make a joke. Now, Coach Cole is a Kappa, and I think you are a man of Omega Psi Phi. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, listen. Now, you know, y'all, there's a lot of rivalry right there now. There's a lot of rivalry. So I'm going to put it out there to those PV Kappas. Y'all got to raise more money than them PVQs. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to put it out there, Coach.
Yep.
That's right.
And our AD is a Kappa.
See, there you go.
Right.
So I'm going to put the challenge out there because, listen, we don't need no stomping and cane throw. We need money spent. You see what I'm saying? So, Coach, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put up some $35. Coach, I know $35 don't get me on the field. Maybe give me in the parking lot. But I'm going to put up some $35. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
I wait for the parking lot.
And I tell you, Coach, what we want to do, which is when y'all get your thing together, maybe we could bring you back on right before spring ball, and you'll have all the information together how people can buy season tickets and donate that $35. I'm gonna definitely donate my $35. I know Rocky, he does it all the time. Of course, Coach Campbell is the fundraising guy on our staff. So you want to go through these games real quick, Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach. We'll get started off with the elephant in the room. Coach, you got to get this one done, Coach. Coach. Hey, you probably shouldn't unbox your stuff, Coach, until you get this one done. I'm just gonna go and be honest with you. They whooping.
What's unique about that?
Go ahead, Coach.
It's in Houston and it's on my birthday.
Ooh.
And so that's one that it certainly will be it'll be a special day. And I don't know.
Y'all moving that to the big boy stadium.
I haven't been told that one.
They say Shell Energy
They
Stadium.
say Shell Energy.
That's the new name of the stadium that they're in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the new name.
Okay.
Well, these next 3 games, since we got them up, Coach, you're gonna have to struggle to get them out on this one, Coach, because you know they love to see the blacks and these teams.
It's the home opener.
Who is
It's
this?
the UTRGV new program. They're playing their first year of football. They're FCS, Southland Conference member, but they've been practicing, I think, for the last year or two. And 2025 will be their first season, and so they are PWI, and that's in the Southland Conference. But most of all, it's the home opener. We go down to Houston, but September 6th is the home opener, so we expect to have a lot of people show up and be loud at the home opener. Then we go to Rice. We go back to Houston and play Rice. They got a brand new staff. Came over from an FCS non-scholarship program. Then we play Northwestern State, which we're really familiar with. Me have been in the Southland Conference,
Right.
And so we played them a year ago at their place. They're returning the home game.
I like your schedule, Coach. I like your schedule so far.
Now, Coach, these next 3 games, we'll see what you're all about, Coach. We'll find out if you like that. And guess what, Coach? At the end of the day, Coach, you got to realize that y'all are a homecoming guest in the middle of October. So tell me about this part of your schedule and what you think about it.
Yeah, we're really excited to be, I've always seen the State Fair Classic on TV. I've never been a part of it. And so to go to the Cotton Bowl and the historic event, play a historic school like Grambling State, we're honored to be able to do that, and we'll get our guys ready to go. Then we go to the reservation, which I haven't been there in a long time.
Let me finish on the Grambling now. The HBCU Coaches Corner. We're part of the interviewing process on that Monday. We'll come.
Yeah, we'll be part of the press corps.
And
and be there at the press conference.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Coach, I got to make sure my suit right, Coach.
You know that. It better be on. Look, I ain't got to tell. Hey, look. Look, Coach, I know. Look, you like a sponge. I know you're going to be sharp.
Hey, I got to make sure my suit right that day.
Yeah.
We go to the reservation. I haven't been to Alcorn State since 2010.
Wow.
Haven't been there. So it's been a while since I've been there. And so we're looking forward to that one. Obviously going to Southern. Haven't been there since 2010 either. But one thing I know about playing at Southern, especially now that it's homecoming, it's going to be a lot of people there. We're going to need our folks to travel. We're going to need our folks to travel and try to stand up against some of that that's going to be there. We get a week off in between that Alcorn and Southern game as well. We got a bye week in between there. And then after we play Southern is our homecoming against North American, which is a local Houston team.
Whew. So let me ask you something, Coach, before you continue. How much did you play a role in this schedule? Because it seemed like you played a lot.
Well, I didn't. It was AD Golf had already kind of finalized it before I got here.
Okay.
Again, AD Golf done been to some other places. So, like I know, Coach, if you're doing the schedule in the year, anything can happen. And so our schedule is really lined out for the next few years. And he had already had that done prior to me getting the job.
I got you. Well, I tell you what, Coach, it's a good first year schedule.
Hey, that's shade, Coach Jackson. That was just shade right there. I just want you to know that. Because he put that first year caveat on that schedule. I think that's the same thing he said about Chris Dishman. That's a good first year schedule.
Hey, Coach, I do want to point out something. And Rocky, I'm getting people saying, let's get Coach up so we can see his face. Switch
my bad.
around a little bit. But, Coach, I do want to point something out. Prairie View and Southern had got, and you talked about this, had gotten kind of a little bit of fisticuffs. Now, you talked about discipline. Now, Coach, how are you going, because that rivalry, because of, because the last couple of years it's been Prairie View's won the West or Southern's won the West. How are you going to make sure that you say to your team that, hey, this is going to be a hot and it scheduled for homecoming, but you talked about discipline. Talk about why that's so important again, for us just on the field discipline and what you think that's going to make you a successful winning coach.
Yeah, Mr. Campbell, we talk to our guys a lot about being locked in so we don't get locked out of opportunities. You want to make sure when we go there or anywhere, we playing a college football game, we want to make sure we go there, take care of our business, and everybody that went in comes out. It's kind of like the military. We go in to do a mission, we get in, we get out. And so you don't want to let some foolishness get you in a bad situation for weeks to come for what we're trying to do. It's going to take everybody. We don't have time for somebody to say something to somebody, a guy throw a punch, and now you're out the next week. That's not who we are. That's not how we play the game. We respect the game too much to allow that to happen. Natural trash talking happens throughout a game, but we don't ever want to do anything that's bigger than our football team and draw attention to ourselves as an individual. It's about the collective. And when you can coach guys and get guys to buy into the collective model, then you don't have those issues. Proud to say we had some really tough guys at places I've been, guys that were on their second and third chance because of some issues, but they bought into the deal of it being about the collective and not themselves. And so we didn't have guys kicked out of games or fights starting out the games. And we hope to keep it that way here, because we do understand the nature. When you're at Prairie View A&M, you play a lot of rival games. There's people that's mad about the fact that we got a better stadium than them. They just want to fight. And so it just is what it is. And so we got to understand.
Y'all got running water, got heat.
Yeah, we got to understand who we are. We got to understand that when I'm out here on platforms like this and I'm telling people what's about to happen at Prairie View A&M, that somebody gonna try us. That just comes with the nature of being good. If nobody tried us, then I wouldn't think we were gonna be very good, because people only try people that have something to lose. Nobody robs the homeless man.
Right.
You ain't never heard of the homeless man getting robbed, because people don't think he have anything. So people only try to do stuff to people that's got something. And so we expect to have something Therefore, we expect for people to try us, and we got to be able to handle that.
Yeah. Well, Coach, man, look, we don't have you on.
Can he get through the last month, Coach? You got just one more month.
Well, my
November.
question, do we have any phone calls? You know, we don't want to keep Coach too long, but
No. All the phone callers dropped. Coach was giving us that motivational speech, and they got the Holy Ghost and dropped off. So we good. But I did want to look at November, because November seems interesting to me in this regard. We got 4 games, and 3 of them is at Blackshear. That seems like that's a good prep leading into the SWAC championship. What do you think, Coach?
Well, they remember November. And so you want to make sure you're playing your best ball in November. And if you can play that ball at home, it's a lot better than playing that ball on the road. And so when I saw the schedule and saw that we were at home 3 out of the last 4, obviously, and man, you know, we get to Coach Cole, we get to take we taking a plane to Huntsville. We ain't got to leave Thursday at midnight and trick ourselves into thinking we ain't really traveled that far because we was all asleep. We getting on a flight and we going to Alabama A&M, and again, our administration made sure we travel in the right manner so
now
that we can.
Are y'all landing in Huntsville or Atlanta, Georgia?
Coach, you know what? They just tell me what time to leave. They don't. We got a lady named Miss Thomas. She just tell me what time to be there, what time to leave. And so, but I do know those are things. That's why I keep telling people it's a new day at Prairie View A&M. It's a new day. We don't do some things that people thought we did. We don't do those things. We're trying to be an elite, premier FCS program, and that's. I really think we're headed in the right direction. But we're excited about the schedule. We're excited about putting our brand of ball out there week 1.
And two of those coaches are in the boat. They're new coaches. So you have Coach Buckley at Mississippi Valley.
Yep.
And Coach Shade at Alabama A&M. So
absolutely.
You guys are really going to be able to fight each other and then see where you at the end of the season, see where your program's at. So I'm super excited to see that.
Yeah. You know, I look forward to Media Day. Man, I think SWAC Media Day is a really I watch SWAC Media Day sitting in my office at the place I just left. Like, watch the whole thing, because the media day that we had was in Birmingham too, but it wasn't on the same side. It was on a different side, and it wasn't the same folks there. And so there's a lot of things in the SWAC, man, that I've always not stopped watching. And I'm looking forward to get around those coaches at media day. A lot of great coaches in the SWAC. We can't wait to get our shoulders up on the stage next to them, because Prairie View A&M belongs. And we ain't gonna stop talking about that. We belong, and we here now. And we expect to be on the stage with the best of them.
And Coach, you're a Texas football coach for sure, and I'm proud to be a Texan. And I can't wait for you to start kicking butt all over the SWAC. You hear me, Coach? All over the SWAC. Because again, my daughter is a senior at Prairie View.
Yeah.
And Coach, this is the last thing I want to say, is that you also got to engage the students as well. You got to engage the student, get them to start coming to the games, because I think that's an aspect of that needs to happen, because for whatever reason, there's a challenge with getting them engaged and coming out. And so with that being said, Coach, I want to appreciate you for coming on, man.
And thank y'all for having me, Coach Cole. When he hit Coach Colbert up, I stood in the hallway and took a breath. I said, man, I finally get to get on the show. I had to watch the show on YouTube. But no, I got a lot of respect and admiration for Coach, man, and what you guys do. Mr. Campbell, you were toned down tonight, because you've been on 10 some of them days that I watched.
Hey, Coach, listen, Coach, here's the thing. I want you to be successful. I really want you to be successful. Because you know why I want you to be successful? Because I want you to bring your ass down to Tallahassee so you can send your ass back to Texas with a loss for that SWAC championship game. So
that's the Mr. Campbell I know.
I need you to go home with all your little games over there in the West, and then we'll see you in Tallahassee in December.
That's it.
Okay.
And I promise I won't say you the best coach. You the best coach of the worst.
Hey, Coach. Hey, just as you say, Coach, we got a couple calls, man. And I know, Coach, if you need to drop, you can go ahead and drop. It's up to you if you
I'll
want to
take
be on
one
for
or
the
two of them.
Okay, gotcha. All right, caller with the last 45540. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner.
Hello, am I on?
Yeah, you on.
Okay, all right. This is Chuck Hunt calling from Monroe, Louisiana. Good evening, you four, and Coach Jackson. Congratulations! I've been following what you've done in your coaching career, and I know you come from the cradle of coaches like they had Miami, Ohio, cradle of coaches, Valdosta State. You know, Hal Mommy, Mike Leach, Kirby Smart, and now yourself. You're part of it now, and I wish, and I see a lot happening with you all in the future. And my question to you, I know you're from Texas, and I can imagine you're going to be recruiting the Georgia, the Carolinas, and Florida as well. You know, you're coming from Valdosta State. I imagine you're going to sell that program. Also, I'm gonna land on this one. I agree with what you said. Stop putting yourself in a box. I just think about they just had the Grammy Awards. That's what Beyonce had to deal with. You know, you don't want to put yourself in a box. She just won Country Album of the Year, and that's what we do that to ourselves. And you're exactly right, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll answer your question. We're going to recruit nationwide because Prairie View A&M is a nationwide product, and so because we're a nationwide product, then people across the country need to see what we have and be exposed to it. But we are a Texas football team first. And so we're going to recruit Houston to
say that
Dallas.
again, Coach.
Yeah, we're a Texas football team. There's Texas on this logo. There's the great state of Texas, and so we're gonna recruit it inside out. But we will expand our tentacles nationally, man, because we got too good of programs, too good of everything on our campus academically, not to reach across the country.
All right, thanks, Chuck. I appreciate that. We got one.
Take care.
All right, appreciate it, Chuck. We got one more, Coach, and then we'll get out of it. All right, caller with the last 48310. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? This is Lionel with PV versus everybody.
My dog.
Just want to call in and let y'all know. I mean, Coach Jackson, appreciate you. Obviously, we're happy to have you. If y'all thought your T-shirts was bad, listen, we got hoodies coming this year, okay? Because the expectations then went up, all right? Because the goal is always the goal, as Coach Jackson say. You know what I'm saying? Premier FCS program in the state of Texas. And so I'm happy that Coach Jackson sees that, understands that. I think we have a huge amount of alumni that have felt that way, which is why we made the T-shirts in the first place, right? And so we're not stopping with that, right? Because the expectations still expectations. But I just want to call in and say, man, I'm super excited. I'm going to be at the signing day tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And we also going to be pulling up for the spring game as well as supporting financially so that we can hit these goals and get these things that Coach Jackson and the team needs.
Appreciate you, Lionel. Hey, make sure you tweet out the link, Lionel. I follow you, so I will make sure I didn't get my little $35 tomorrow as well. And because I gave the FAMU a few months ago, and they ain't never stopped begging, so I may as well give a little something.
Hey, no, hold on now, Coach. Listen, I'm gonna say this. One thing we know how to do is keep asking for money. So, Coach, you better have that. See, Coach, I know y'all got the same thing. Cause once you get that email, we gonna keep asking, bro. We gonna keep asking.
Absolutely.
And your deal was a 19, wasn't it, Coach?
My deal was
Bishop.
Oh yeah, we did well. Our AD is number 19, so we did a 19 from basically 19 for 19. Give them 19 just to get it started. But Coach said, "Hey, we looking for 35 to get to 350."
And I'm the 35th head coach at Prairie View A&M.
Thank you. I was setting you up for you. There you go, Coach.
Yeah, I'm the 35th head coach, and so 35 to 350. That's what we want to get to. It's all in that 35 thing.
Hey, Coach, we got one call left from H-Time. You want to take it?
I always take a Houstonian.
Go ahead. Last 46660. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Benjamin, how you doing, gentlemen? Coach, I just wanted to welcome you
I actually, as I was listening to you, I actually thought I was at a Baptist church. And I know you said tomorrow is when it's, you were going to send out the link and so forth, but I'm going to send you my $350 pledge. And I know you're talking about Omegas and Kappas and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not neither one of those. So I'm going to say to any divine line, I'm going to put my 350 out there. And so either I'm going to write the check and I'll have it at the signing tomorrow, or I'll just email it.
Bring it to me at the signing part.
What's his name? Say that again, sir.
I said, if you would hand it to me at the signing party, I will make sure it gets to the football account.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this. My father-in-law, he'll be there, but you'll know him when you see him. But if not, I think you know someone named Michael Prince?
I do.
You know,
all right.
You
so
tell Prince I said hello.
Yes, sir. We look forward to you coming on the show also. But on behalf of me, Michael Prince, we're going to throw out $350 out there. So all of the Divine Nine, the Sigmas, the Zetas, I put that pledge to any other Divine Nine alumni, Coach Bishop, not Coach Bishop, the gentleman from FAMU. Coach, you got to watch him because he does think he's slick. But I will say this, he is right. There are a lot of people from TV that got money. So I'm going to throw my $350 out there. And the next time you said you want to do this on a yearly basis, my pledge to you is, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but every year you there, I'll put $350 out there.
I appreciate that.
Now, Coach,
hey, Coach, just as luck would have it, we got another guy from Houston calling in. You let me know what to do, Coach.
Tell us about your signing day, so people that's listening that can come bring their checks there. Or?
Yeah, we're gonna be at the Fox Trap Restaurant on Westheimer tomorrow from 7 to 9. There's a link out there where you can sign up and buy a ticket to be there. And we're gonna soft launch that 35 fundraiser at that Fox Trap. That's why I can't put it out today, because it comes out softly tomorrow, and then they put it out from there. So Fox Trap Restaurant, I think it's on Westheimer, a little bit further down from the Galleria, 7 to 9 tomorrow. And if you got a check you want to bring, I'll be there. I will be there. And I can tell you what it's for and what it's going toward.
Hey, somebody got some background on. Caller, you got some background on. Coach, this is our last one, I promise you. It's from H-Town, so I decided to take it.
All right, man. I got to go to bed here in a little bit.
Last one, Coach. With the last 4, 3101, you're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Houston.
From where?
Sugar Land, Texas.
Oh, okay. Oh, we got a, hey, it's the first lady has ever called. No, we probably didn't have another lady call.
That's my home girl. Let's get this straight. And she bring the green mean. You know
yes, I am Johnny Cole's home girl. Hey, Coach, I'm super excited about having you on board. I like your enthusiasm. I can't wait to work with you and get started. It's a new day at PV, and I'm excited about what you're offering.
I appreciate that. You know what we're doing at Prairie View A&M? Our theme is from water to wine, and that's the theme of the year. And so when you say new day, this it is a new day. It's a new time, and we look forward to everybody being able to enjoy that.
Well, I ran track for Prairie View Track Scholarship. I already have talked to some other track girls. They're on board, and I'm also a member of that wonderful sorority called Alpha, Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I will be talking to sorors, and we have a Delta on board also that's ready to get started.
Yeah. We certainly appreciate it. Look forward to it.
Okay.
All right, man. Hey, Coach.
And when y'all make that date, y'all please give me a date so I can fly down and see what's going on.
Will do.
All right.
Hey, Coach, man, you've been a sensational guest. You gave us far more time than we could ever expect. And I want to personally thank you for joining us. And you are welcome anytime you need to get a message out or you got a sermon to preach.
Did he be?
I mean this, man.
Ahead,
I got a lot of respect and admiration for Coach, man. If you guys just don't know, man, from the way I wear a suit to the way I buy a suit, I learned from Johnny Cole, not just football. And the man bought me some suits when I didn't have no money to get no suits. And so anytime Coach called, man, we're gonna answer. But Mr. Campbell and Rock, I really appreciate y'all too. And you're always welcome on the hill. Call first because we got folks around the building. We don't let just anybody in with that rattle on.
Hey, Coach, listen, let me tell you one thing about I'm internationally known and locally loved. I can get in there, Coach. You just see me sitting there. I'm trying to tell you, I know folks go. You better ask some people about me, Coach.
No, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to go to bed, man. We've been up since 4 o'clock, but I'm going to go to bed and get some rest. Let me know what you guys need over here in Prairie View.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate
y'all. Hey. Wow.
Oh, Coach, hey, that was another good one, Coach. Hey, Coach, all your proteges come on here, man. They do a great job. They do a great interviews. They definitely, you must have paid them a lot of money to give you flowers before they come on, Coach, because they're all very complimentary of you and make a point to point out the impression you made on them as young coaches and how you were been instrumental in advancing their careers. And so, Coach, that's always dope to hear, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see. This is a special one to me, you know, and I just knew he was going to be successful, and it's just now starting. And you know, do you understand what this guy? He left probably the #1 program in Division II football to go back. What one would say to go backwards, but he went where his heart was. You know what I'm saying? And he went where the opportunity that he felt in the HBCU, that this is a school that I want to take. And I really think that the future for Prairie View, man, is brighter. And I hope that the administration in place is looking beyond, you know, just the SWAC. But I think he's going to do a wonderful job there. And, you know, it's just a good feeling, man, because, you know, you guys know that's one of the reasons why I started this show, man, just to the young men like him, and there's a whole bunch of them out there that need this platform. You know what I mean? To expose themselves of the goodness that they have. You know, both their systems, their philosophies, their backgrounds, and this is why I fight so hard, man, to continue this show and to continue presenting us, you know, with us. You know what I mean? And I can't say enough about y'all too, that, you know, they bring the fire with this show. So again, thank you guys. Thank the people who continue to follow us. You know, we're looking for bigger and better things. I think, Coach Bishop, you got another guest on that's coming next.
Hey, man, listen, we're going to keep this show. Hey, man, this is HBCU Coaches Corner. So I am proud to say we're going to have the new coach from Mississippi Valley, Terrell Buckley, on next week at 9:30 Eastern. So we're going to have this, you know, y'all had y'all Texas thing today. We're going to bring it back to Mississippi. You got to bring it back to Mississippi and Florida. You know, T-Buck with the FSU. I remember him when I was at family. I'm a year older than T-Buck. So I talked to him today. So, man, he's going to come on and talk about how he's going to get Valley into running. And maybe we can, you know, have him and Coach Jackson, you know, do a little talk, you know, a little wager about a little something on that game at the end. But no, man, I'm super excited. And like I say, you know, Coach said he saw me on video. Man, I'm the guy that champion all the coach to help them get money, Coach. I'm your money guy. I'm the one that going to talk about the money. So I want to say to all those PV folks, you know, man, I love exactly the school. I got so much admiration. But I'm going to keep challenging you guys because that school is such a powerhouse with such great alumni. This is the time. If you want to be a champion, the coach has told you the groundwork. So that 35 for $350K, I don't want to hear no talk because see one thing, and I'm going to check. When Willie Simmons getting ready to leave Rocket, $200,000 in the 24 hours.
Well, let me ask you about that, Coach. You guys hired a transformational coach in Willie Simmons.
That came from PV.
Coincidentally from PV. So did you know the day y'all hired Willie Simmons that he would eventually do what he ended up doing in the SWAC?
I'm going to say something different. I have known Willie since he was 19 years old. Willie was a leader and a boss at Clemson as a sophomore. Greatness was destined for him. So when you saw him and you heard him talk and you knew, again, what I like about Coach Simmons, and I think we all see it, is that he is, like Coach Cole, an X's and O's football. It ain't all that talking. He knows how to talk, but he knows how to coach football. So, yeah, I think we knew, and I knew way before then, that Coach was going to be what he was. It was no shock. No shock at all.
Because I think that's what the PV faithful is experiencing now. They are completely convinced they have the guy that's going to transform their program into a champion. That's what it seems. Again, I wasn't here when Dooley was hired. I certainly was here when Bubba was hired, and Bubba was viewed as a stopgap, a bridge coach when he was hired. There was not a lot of energy behind him. The same thing with other hires in the SWAC, whether it be Dishman or the gentleman from Pine Bluff, right? I've only seen this a couple times. Dion and TC, I saw both with, Jackson State alumni knew they had the right guy, even not only with Dion, but with TC as well. There was a lot of energy also surrounding Cozy, but I'm not sure if that was just, to get their guy in there who they wanted versus what was going on, or was that true optimism and a surefire thought that he was the guy? You know what I mean? But this seems a little different for PV, and I just wanted to know whether or not you guys at FAMU, after having some down years, did you guys know Willie Simmons was the guy when y'all hired him?
You know, and I'm going to say this again because, Rocky, like I said, you're down there in Texas. I know a lot of people in Texas. I know a lot of PV people. What I like about what Coach Jackson's doing, he's not making PV sound like a second-class citizen anymore in the SWAC. That is the thing. See, sometimes you got to, as we say at FAMU, you got to let your snake hang. And I like, hey, Coach, let the panther hang. You know what I mean? Because, see, if you come in there with confidence and say, hey, we're Prairie View. We're going to be a championship team. And I think this happens to a lot of teams, is that it's a mentality. And, Coach, you know this. It's a loser's mentality and it's a winner's mentality. And that starts to permeate the whole school. Oh, here we go again. We ain't going to win this game. But if you come in there and say, no, we're going to beat Southern. We're going to beat Alcorn. We're going to beat Texas Southern. We're going to beat Grambling. You can hear it in his voice. So guess what? The players start believing it. And then when he beats them, all hell going to break loose. Yeah. And that's the same thing with FAMU, where Willie had gotten that thing, and when we got in the SWAC, and again, like I said, great battles with Jack State and Dion. But I'm going to tell you something. We ain't had no doubt in our mind that we was going to beat everybody else's ass in the SWAC. Because Willie made you feel like that. And he, in our championship run, he said, hey, I got to win this celebration ball. He didn't run from that.
Well, but once again, he came up underneath a winner. They won the SWAC twice at Alcorn State. And then when he took over his job at Prairie View and took, he came from Middle Tennessee State. He went off to Clemson in high school. So he had a systematic way that he's seen from winning programs that he had been under. And all he did was tweaked it to himself, won at Prairie View, took that same system to Florida A&M and won at Florida A&M. And I'm telling you, and I'm telling the Prairie View fans, that this guy's took over a head job at Colorado Mesa. He went 8-2 out there, took over the number one Division II program in the nation, and in 3 years, he's in the national championship game. He's going to bring that same system to Prairie View A&M. You better jump on board, because it's going to be a train. And I see it. It ain't no question to me about what he's going to do. It's just when it's going to happen, whether it's the first year or the second year. And I put my paycheck on it. In year 3, he'll definitely be winning the championship.
Ooh, whoa. Hey, man, let's clip this.
I got it.
Coach.
Hey, look, y'all two know now. I ain't been wrong yet.
Okay,
now you called TC out when they hired
early in the season.
Yeah. You've always been a proponent of Willie, and Willie was able to get it done. And so I trust your knowledge of the SWAC and your eye for talented coaches.
Yeah. He'll get his program up to TC Taylor's program.
So let me ask you this. Who will win their division first? Jackson or Shade?
Jackson or Shade at A&M?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's going to take Shade a minute.
Yeah, bro.
This is why with Shade. Shade is a defensive type of coach, you know. And in the SWAC ain't like the MEAC. And I read Shade is more of a MEAC coach. You know, keep it close to the vest, win 28, 35, 7, 18, 21. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the SWAC, we got big scores. You know what I'm saying? In the MEAC, they got small scores. But, we'll see. Sam got a lot of more athletes to work with. And y'all know his team's going to be well coached and he's going to be solid, So TC got to get out of that. Alabama State, I think, going to fall off. They left. They done lost their defense coordinator. They done lost one of their top recruiters in James Williams, who's also the secondary coach who's been on our show. And we even getting assistant coaches jobs. I think he went to Kennesaw. And the defense coordinator went to UAB. But I think things will level off, which were going to be good for the conference, with Coach Jackson coming on the west side. I hope we didn't put a target on his chest. I think we might have.
Hey, Coach, I think he liked that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong when you feel and you, like you say, Coach, he believes in what he can do. And I'll just tell you this, like I say, hey man, I'm a fan of Coach Shea, but that East, like I say, Rocky, let me say, fam, you had a down year, we still beat the MEAC champion and we beat the West champion. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're quote unquote, we had a down year. Jack State is gonna be Jack State. Them boys is rolling. So like I say, it's still gonna be FAMU and Jack State again in that East.
Yeah.
But that West, like I say, if he gets a coach, what we say, if you got a quarterback in the SWAC, you got a championship. So if he can find him a quarterback,
I'll say this, and this may be my naivete about coaching. I'll be willing to say year one, Tremaine is the best coach in the West.
Ooh.
I'm not saying he's going to win the West.
Well, here's the thing, though, Coach. There can't be no argument. It ain't no coach in the conference who don't won 2 conference championships and don't went to a national championship game. Ain't a coach coaching. And it ain't a coach in the league that's been a head coach longer than he had in the whole conference. Name. Matter of fact, we got 3. We got now. What we got?
so
Coach
the longest
Robinson,
tenure
what,
coach
been
is
4
Eddie Robinson.
years?
Yeah,
He coming
4
into
years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Shit, Coach Jackson been a head coach 6 and a championship head coach. You know what I mean? So shit, Coach. Look, you right. Right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
We ain't gonna never be able to get Coach Graves on this show after this. We ain't gonna never get. Hey man, somebody, can we just get somebody from Southern, the equipment manager? Because we ain't gonna never be able to get nobody from Southern on this show.
Y'all know I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him. Shit,
Coach,
you got tough skin as
Coach
a
say,
head coach.
Coach say he got a close friend on the staff. Maybe we can get him if we can't get Coach Gray.
And maybe the guy can ask Coach Gray the question and then relay it back through the phone. Coach, they want to know what you think of that. Boy, I'm trying to tell you, boy. Southern, hey man, listen, it ain't us, man.
Hey man, I would come on the show just to gloat with that West title. You know what I mean? Because we said he was gonna finish 4th or 5th. Come on here and tell us we was wrong, because we all were dead wrong on that. Now,
Wrong.
We were dead wrong.
Dead wrong.
Yeah.
So who we thought who was gonna win?
Man, we thought Alcorn and Prairie View.
I had Prairie View. I was believing Lionel in the T-shirt. Lionel was supposed to send me a T-shirt, but when they lost that first game, that was a wrap for that boy. That T-shirt, boy, that T-shirt was headed straight to Africa after that.
we had Southern in third place,
Yeah.
and they ended up winning it all. That's a great job by Coach Graves, first year head coach.
Yeah. Tremendous job.
Yeah.
All right, then. Hey, Coach, you gonna take us out? You
Yeah,
got
I'm gonna
anything,
take us
Cam, before
out.
we get off? Get off?
Yeah, Coach, I'm taking us on out. Anything, Bishop?
Hey, I'm just gonna say, Coach, let's give you your flowers, because this is so neat. Everybody does different things. But again, this platform, and like they said, the coaches are watching. That's why we always want to try to be respectful. And to any coach, we try our best, because we want you to come on here. And you know me, I want you to come on here and get some money, because I know what it takes. So,
That's
Coach,
right.
I just want to thank you to allow these young brothers to come on here and to show what great coach they're going to be and representing these schools. Because, like I say, the one thing I will say, and Rocky, you asked the question. Again, when I grew up, the coach was the forefront. It wasn't, hey man, Eddie Robinson, hey man, they were the one who had to raise the money, because that's who people know. And
That's
Coach
right.
Jackson to me is in that fine lineage, because no disrespect, I know they got a great AD, but my point of it is, Coach Jackson's gonna make you want to give him some money. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So
That's what the coach supposed to do.
Yeah. So
everything's supposed to be lined up.
yeah.
And I definitely want to end this conversation. And when we talk about celebrity coaches, that's what they're supposed to do, Coach. They got to go out and sell that this is the right shit. You know what I mean? Hey, give you money. You know what I mean? And that's very important that a head coach can do that. That he has that charisma about him. That's what it's about, man. And if you don't have that charisma, you're not gonna get that money.
Because I just want to tell you, again, we appreciate you for putting on and bringing this platform. I just want to say that I really appreciate it, and it's an honor for me to be on here with you.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. All right, man. Tell you what, in the end of the day, man, I want to appreciate you guys for continuing to support and watch this show with a lot of things happening, and don't want to get into politics. I've been told by my brother him, but with programs like the DEI and affirmative action and all that, we okay, because we as a people at HBCU schools, we're graduating people every day, and sometimes when you are the elite, it scares people sometimes. So we got to keep on pushing and keep on generating greatness. Some of the HBCU schools are some of the greatest schools in America. It don't matter what the color is. It matters what's inside. I wore my sun-kissed orange tonight, being able to introduce a guy that I want to say I helped raise. I had contributed to him, but I seen it in him. And, he's went on to take things from everywhere he went, and now he's becoming the guy. That's just what life is about. That's what life is about to me. Each one teach one, each one bring one. And I've been blessed to be able to do that, because I was brought up by 8 of them. 8 of them reached out and pushed me up. 8 brothers. That's who I'm talking about. But like I said, man, life is good. Life is great. If you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you.